Have you ever looked at your grown children and wondered, what happened? Where did the respect go? You've sacrificed, you've loved. And now, in this chapter of life, the very people you raised seem distant, dismissive, or even disrespectful. You're not alone. But here's the truth. Disrespect doesn't have to be the final chapter of your story. In fact, there are powerful, respectful, and highly effective ways to restore the respect you deserve, without conflict, anger, or guilt. Welcome to this special episode. When your children disrespect you, do this instead. 6 highly effective techniques to restore respect. Whether you're 65 or 85, this is your time to reclaim dignity, joy, and peace. Let's begin. When you start living with clarity, peace, and purpose, others will feel it, and many will rise to meet it. But the path to that kind of life begins with one powerful shift: learning how to stay calm when you're being disrespected. Technique number 1. Stay calm. Control the fire before it spreads. Disrespect can come suddenly. A harsh word, a dismissive gesture, a moment where your grown child talks over you or rolls their eyes like you're invisible. It hurts. But here's the truth. Your reaction determines what happens next. When you respond with anger, the conversation escalates. But when you stay calm, you shift the energy in the room. You don't fuel the fire. You contain it. So next time it happens, pause. Take a breath. Place your hand gently on the table, or your heart if you need to, and tell yourself, I will not let this moment pull me into a place I don't want to go. Then, with steady voice and clear presence, you can say something simple like, I'd appreciate it if we could speak to each other with respect. You're not reacting, you're leading. And that calm, grounded presence speaks louder than any argument ever could. Remember Viktor Frankl's wisdom. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. You are not powerless. You have experience, grace, and wisdom on your side. And sometimes the most powerful voice is the one that doesn't rise in anger, but rises in peace. Sometimes the most powerful voice is the one that doesn't rise in anger, but rises in peace. But peace alone isn't enough. To truly restore respect, you must also speak with quiet authority, grounded, calm, and clear. Technique number 2. Speak with quiet authority. Not guilt, not fear. Many seniors feel torn when disrespected. You might think, if I push back, will they pull away? So instead, you stay silent, or try to win their respect by being overly nice. But let's be clear. Respect is not something you beg for. It's something you affirm, with grace and strength. When your child speaks rudely or disregards your feelings, don't lash out. But don't stay silent either. Try saying something like, I love you, I'm here for you, but I won't allow myself to be spoken to that way. It's firm, it's loving, and it draws a clear boundary. You are not trying to punish them. You are modeling how adults communicate, with respect and self-worth. Real story. Barbara, 77, used to feel invisible around her adult children. They'd interrupt, ignore, or make jokes at her expense. One day, at dinner, she calmly said, "Eh?" "Enjoy our time together, but it's hard for me when I feel dismissed. I'd love it if we could talk with more care." The room went quiet. Her children looked surprised, but over time they softened, because she didn't demand respect. She invited it with dignity. When you speak with quiet authority, you don't chase respect. You become the kind of presence that naturally receives it. And one of the most powerful ways to earn that respect, without ever saying a word, is to lead by example, not control. Technique number 3. Don't try to control. Lead by example. It's natural to want your children to change, to speak kindly, visit more often, show appreciation. But the harder you push, the more they pull away. Here's the truth. Control creates resistance, but example creates reflection. Instead of trying to manage their behavior, focus on becoming the kind of person whose presence inspires respect. Live your values. Take care of your health. Pursue your interests. Be someone your children admire, not because you told them to, but because they see it in you. Story from life. Harold, 81, had a strained relationship with his adult son. Instead of nagging, he joined a community choir, volunteered at a local library, and began learning photography. Over time, his son noticed. One day he said, "Dad, I didn't realize you had so much going on. That's really cool." Respect was being rebuilt, not through pressure, but through inspiration. As Maya Angelou once said, "I've learned that people will forget what you said. They will forget what you did, but they will never forget how you made them feel." Live with quiet. Purpose. Let your dignity and passion speak for you. When your children see you thriving, they'll remember who you truly are and begin to treat you that way. But even as you lead by example, there's something just as powerful. Reconnecting through meaningful, judgment-free conversations. Technique number 4. Replace criticism with curiosity. When our children disrespect us, it's tempting to point it out. "You never call. Why do you talk to me like that? You'd never treat your friends this way." But criticism rarely leads to connection. It often creates distance, defensiveness, or silence. Instead, approach them with curiosity. Compassionate, sincere curiosity. Try asking, "Hey, I've been sensing some distance between us. Is there something on your mind? I'd love to hear how things have been for you lately. Really." These questions don't accuse, they invite, they say, "I care about you, I'm listening, let's talk." Real story. Elaine, 74, hadn't spoken to her daughter in over a month after a tense exchange. Instead of calling to complain, she sent a simple message. "I miss our talks. I'm here whenever you're ready. No pressure, just love." A week later, her daughter called. Tears, apologies, healing. Sometimes behind disrespect is unspoken stress, pain, or misunderstanding. Curiosity opens a door that criticism slams shut. As Stephen Covey said, "Seek first to understand, then to be understood." Your willingness to listen may be the very thing that reminds your child how deeply they still need and love you. But in that process of healing and reconnecting, there's something just as vital: learning to protect your peace, even when others don't change. Technique 35. Create emotional boundaries without guilt. Not every disrespectful child will respond to your calm, your kindness, or your questions. And that's not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of where they are in their own journey. This is where boundaries become essential. A boundary isn't a wall to shut others out. It's a doorway that says, "This is how I expect to be treated if you want access to my time and heart." You can say it with love. "I'm always happy to talk, but not when the conversation becomes hurtful. Let's try again another time. I need to step away to take care of myself." At first, setting boundaries might feel uncomfortable, even selfish, but it's actually an act of self-respect and emotional safety. Real story. Frank, 79, used to feel drained after every phone call with his daughter. She'd rant, blame, and hang up. One day, he calmly told her, "I love you, but I can't keep having conversations that leave me feeling broken." He began to limit the calls, and slowly she began to adjust, because he showed her how to treat him. Remember what Brené Brown said? Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. You can love your children and still protect your heart. Both can exist peacefully, but to truly restore respect and your own sense of joy, you need one more essential practice: focusing on your own happiness and purpose beyond their approval. Technique, or number 6, invest in your own joy and purpose. Too often, seniors tie their self-worth to their children's respect or attention. When that respect feels absent, it can feel like your whole world shrinks. But your value isn't defined by anyone else's behavior, especially not your adult children's. Find what lights you up. Maybe it's painting, gardening, writing, or volunteering. Maybe it's spending time with friends, traveling, or learning something new. When you invest in yourself, you become whole, and your happiness becomes contagious. Story from life. Margaret, 75, struggled for years with her son's indifference. Then she joined a local dance class and started weekly lunches with friends. Her smile returned, her confidence grew, and surprisingly, her son began calling more often, drawn back by the new, vibrant energy she carried. As Oprah Winfrey once said, the greatest discovery of all time is that a person can change their future by merely changing their attitude. Your journey doesn't depend on others' respect alone. It depends on your commitment to live fully and joyfully. When you shine from within, respect follows naturally, and your life becomes richer, no matter what. You are not invisible. You are not just someone's mom or dad or grandparent. You are a soul with wisdom, with light, with stories still unfolding. Respect begins from within, and when you start living with clarity, peace, and purpose, others will feel it, and many will rise to meet it.